How's it going, everyone? It's me, Des. This video is going to be a little bit of a different video from the regular type of videos I make. This is going to be kind of a analysis video, kind of talking about Magic Nightblade and Deadlands PVP, and just seeing what type of stuff they're able to do now compared to previous patches. I've run around with about 3 or 4 different types of playstyles and ways to play Magblade just to see if they're all viable. And I will say that I am not the final authority when it comes to playing Magic Nightblade, obviously. If anything, I'm probably like E-tier Magblade at best. I'm pretty okay at it, but there's better ways to optimize it. Obviously using procs and stuff, which I don't use because of preference. But yeah, you could definitely optimize it better, make it a lot better. But from my experience, Magblade's in a pretty decent spot. I've played about, like I said, 3 or 4 different ways of playing Magblade. I've played a ranged Magblade, I played a melee Magblade. I even tried throwing on as many dots as possible from the Magblade class and making a dot Magblade and seeing if that was viable. And all of them are actually quite decent and perform quite well. So I think Magblade's definitely in a way better spot than it was before. And obviously having his burst heal is game changer, obviously, because as you know, like the major deficit that Magblade had was not having a burst heal. But now that they have it, it allows for quite a bit of leeway with Magblade. As you can see in this footage here, I'm not even running any restoration staff heals in my back bar. All my heals are literally just class heals. So if you wanted to, you could just drop restoration staff entirely. You can run sword and board. And obviously, with all the positives that Magblade has, there's still some negatives with the class. Like, for example, you don't deal an insane amount of damage, especially compared to playing a Stamina Nightblade. I think it goes without saying you're not going to hit as hard as a Stamblade, especially since they got access to both Major Breach and Minor Breach after the changes that happened during No Proc last year. So, yeah, don't expect to hit as hard as a Stamblade, but even so, you still have pretty okay damage. Although I do wish that some abilities were looked at, like for example, Concealed Weapon. Concealed Weapon obviously doesn't apply any type of difference when you're playing a Dark Cloak Blade versus the base ability Veiled Strike. As you know, it only increases your movement speed while in the cloak, but you know, if you're playing Dark Cloak Magblade, then you're getting basically no buff at all. It's the same as the base ability. I wish they changed it a little bit, or at least applied the buff to Dark Cloak as well as the Stealth Blade, but that's a little bit of a nitpick. Another issue with Magblade, I would say, actually this applies to Nightblade in general, is the clunkiness of your Spectral Bow ability, Relentless Focus / Merciless Focus. Like, there will be times where you'll fire off the bow, and the bow will just straight up disappear into nothingness. Like, it's quite funny. You'll stun a target, and then fire off the Spectral Bow, and in theory, it should land on that target because they're stunned and won't be able to avoid it, but sometimes you just get 0 damage numbers at all. Alright, so what I'm showing you right now is a video that I made in last patch, Waking Flame, which is not exactly relevant to this patch, but the reason I'm showing it is because I'm trying to show off the clunkiness of the Spectral Bow. So what you're seeing here is I just ambushed into this target, and as you're going to see here, I hit him with the heavy attack, surprise attack, stunned him from the side. And then what I'm going to do now is, boom, I hit him with the Spectral Bow, it hits for 800 damage. And the problem with that is Spectral Bow has a higher base damage than surprise attack, for example, which I just hit him with, as you'll see, for 7.9k damage. I hit him with a 7.9k surprise attack, and my Spectral Bow, as you saw, hit for 800 damage. This is just evident of how clunky this ability is. It should be hitting harder than surprise attack, but in this case, it just procced for 800 damage. And this is not the only time it's clunky in this exact video. There's another instance where it's clunky. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. So you'll see here, I hit this guy with a heavy attack into surprise attack, stunned him, and then as you're gonna see here, I'm gonna fire the spectral bow next, and boom. It says he dodged it. Even though you can see here he's in the middle of breaking free from that stun I just hit him with from surprise attack. So he's in the middle of a break free, but he dodged the spectral bow. And this is exactly what I mean. It's so clunky. The bow just flew into nowhere. He shouldn't have dodged it because he's in the middle of breaking free, but somehow he dodged it and the bow just disappeared. And I'd say my last grievance with the abilities is the ultimates in particular. As you know, most of the Nightblade ultimates have cast time attached to it. And the problem is with the cast time is you can interrupt someone in the middle of casting their ultimate. There will be times where I go for Soul Tether or Soul Siphon, or I'll go for an end cap, and what'll happen instead is someone can stun you at the exact moment you try to ulti. But since you haven't finished it, they can cancel it. Like a Dragonite can fossilize you, for example, and cancel out your Soul Tether entirely. Like, in my opinion, I honestly think they should remove the cast times because it's kind of stupid that they can interrupt your ultimate just by CCing you at the correct moment. Like, that is actually quite insane. I personally prefer the playstyle of a melee Magblade over ranged Magblade because the whole combination of heavy attack into Swallow's Soul, it feels very slow. The travel time just doesn't feel comfortable enough for me. I'm not that big of a fan of it. And not only that, trying to get your major resolve up on a ranged Magblade is also a pain because the only options you have to get major resolve is by using Dark Cloak, Aspect of Terror, or spam Shade. But in reality, you're not going to be spamming Shade or Aspect of Terror because there's a CC cooldown. So a lot of the times you'll find yourself using Dark Cloak even when you don't need the heal just to get your major resolve active. That's the only thing that's a little bit of annoying. Unlike with melee Magblade, I can easily just be offensive and not have to worry about using Dark Cloak if I don't need it. Like, obviously, Concealed Weapon will proc your major resolve because it's from the same skill line. So you can just Concealed Weapon and then get major resolve. But melee Magblade doesn't have that leisure, which is another thing that's annoying. But I'd say the other thing that's annoying about playing with ranged Magblade over melee Magblade is using your Spectral Bow, obviously. If you're proccing it from a distance, a lot of the times you'll find yourself firing it at your target from a long range. And since it's coming at them from long range, it's very easy for them to avoid getting hit by it. Whereas if you're playing melee Magblade, you're right on top of them. You can fire the bow right on top of them and reduce the chances of it missing. Ranged Magblade players don't really have that much leisure. Not gonna lie, when I made this video, I was mainly talking about the Dark Cloak Brawl Blade playstyle, not cloak blading, mainly because of the fact that most cloak blades in open world will quake in fear the moment you use one of these. And I'm not exaggerating either, most cloak blades in open world become fodder the moment you reveal them from stealth. And I know what people are going to say in the comments. Oh, Deus, you haven't met a cloak blade that has thumbs in open world. Well, guess what? Most people in open world, they're casual players. And you know what casual players are? They're bots. They play like bots. And they crutch on their stealth. And the moment you pull them out of stealth, they have no defense anymore. And you end up just like two-shotting most of them. And this may seem like I'm crapping on players that use shadowy disguise in open world, and well, that's because I am. If I see you using shadowy disguise in open world, it's on sight. I don't care if you're in a Zerg or what, you're the first player that's going down. So yeah, make sure to remember this one golden rule in PvP and you'll be fine. That rule is, if you use shadowy disguise in PvP, your opinion doesn't count. And yeah, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and that's about it.